Hello and welcome to Life with Jane. We are doing some spring cleaning. So spring cleaning our cupboards. I've got two cupboards here which are my food cupboards, and we are going to do a spring clean of clearing everything out of the cupboards, seeing what we've got, and then turning around and seeing what's in date, what isn't, and putting it back so it's in a better order. So let's start this. I've got a little step ladder here so I can get up easily, and the first thing we need to do is we need to take everything out of the cupboard. So I'm taking all of the tins and everything out. So I tend to have tins up here that I don't use very often. I've got some golden syrup here, which I'm not sure how old that is, so I'm putting that there. And I've got some molasses, which again I don't use very often, so they're down there. I hope you can actually see me doing this. Let me just have a look and see. Yes, I'm getting everything out of the cupboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you just a little bit nearer so you can actually see more into the actual cupboard. So let's do that. Let's bring you up that way, and then you can see more. Hopefully I'm probably going to be right in the way here, am I? No, I should be all right, I think. I'm literally, as I say, clearing it all out first, and then once I've got everything out, we're going to see what we've got. So literally every single shelf I'm going to clear out, and then we can see what we've got. So I have to have it on a, now that's interesting, I've got some bicarb soda there, and then cake cases and things like that, and there's some more cake cases. So that's just the first one. So I'm going to clear all of this out, and then I will come back to you and you can see where we've got. Hello, right, we're back again, so you can see I've emptied both of those cupboards completely. And then what I've done is I've got a nice damp cloth. I've got some surface cleaning product, which is a just an antibacterial one. And I've got a kitchen sponge as well. Just an old kitchen sponge. Doesn't have to be a good one, an old one that you're just about to throw out. As you can see, this is on its last legs, but that's fine. Clean the cupboard down first of all, wipe it nice and clean, dry it off, and then it's ready to put the items back in again. And then what you need to do is you need to go through each item, and I have a trusty old magnifying glass, or my glasses, and you're going to go through each one and find the sell-by date on it, which, so for these, you've got the sell-by date on there, and that is November 25. So not too long on that one. And if I look on this one, it's January 26. So that will go next. And then we've got June 26. So that goes next. So if I'm stacking my cup of soups, they will go like that. So this is the one I need to eat first, and then it goes backwards. So I don't pick and choose. I need to eat those first, otherwise they will end up going out of date. Exactly the same with, you will find, and I was quite surprised at this, so these are gravy granules. I didn't buy these that long ago, but the sell-by date on these ones is, let me just have a look because I was just looking earlier on, is April 25. So we're in the beginning of March now, so only in 6 weeks. I'm not going to eat all of that in 6 weeks. So what I might do is to actually take some of it and give it to my son or daughter-in-law or somebody like that that's going to use it, because these things tend to run out quite quickly. Exactly the same. I've only got a little bit of it left, and I know it's quite processed, but occasionally I will want a little bit of cheese sauce. This is July. So not too bad, but again, I need to make sure that I eat that up. So sauces, dried powdered sauces, tend to have a very shorter shelf life than other things. A lot of things, so for example, tins. Now this is a tin of prunes, and the sell-by on this is right up to 2027. So we're only in 2025, so I know I've got a lot of life on there. Exactly the same with tins of tuna. So this little tin of tuna is February 2027. So 2 years for the tuna, which is really good. So you just need to be aware what is and what isn't. And then once you've done that, you need to then make a pile of the things that have gone out of date. See how far out of date they are and see if you can use them. So for example, this bicarbonate of soda is out of date by about 6 months, but I can use it as a cleaning product. So baking bicarb is very good for cleaning things. You can clean the toilet, you can clean any sort of work surfaces, and so I will use that rather than, I won't use it in baking. So I've also got this vegetable suet. I did you can make some lovely suet pastries and things like that. This has only just gone out of date, so I can use that immediately and it will be fine. So there are things that you can use, there are other things that you can't. So for example, and this is what I was saying, I had in the back of this cupboard some icing sugar. Now, it's dry, it probably would be all right because it will last for a long, long time, but it went out of date in October last year. So it's October, November, December, January, February. It's 4 months out of date. Would I use it? Probably not. A few years ago I probably would have done, but as you get older you need to be more careful if things have gone out. It's a powdered sugar. So I don't suppose it would actually harm you, but I am going to throw that. So that's an example of, I have got icing sugar here, which is 2027, but I had this already in the cupboard, but I'd put this in front of it, so it was hiding. So, you know, you've got to be careful of those things. That's going in the bin. So I'm now going to clean all of this, tidy it, and then I can get back and I'm going to do this one next. And it's the same process. You go through, you make sure that everything that's out of date, you take out, you clean the cupboards perfectly, and then you stack it back so it looks nice and tidy. So the next one you'll see is me putting things back so it's nice and tidy. Hello, right, we're back. So I'm now putting things in. I've got this step which I've now given it a wipe and a clean, so I can put that back up in the cupboard, and then I can put all of the items that I want. So I've got olive oil, which is a new one, so that can go at the back. Then I've got some balsamic vinegar, which can go next to it. Then I've got my white wine vinegar, which can go next to it. I've got, this is malt vinegar, so I don't use that as often, so I will put that behind. So I use that for chips and things like that, really. So that can go in on there. Then I've got some sunflower oil, which I use for roast potatoes and things, because olive oil doesn't work as well. And then I've got, this is like a pestle and mortar, but you shake it, which is quite good. So that can go on the back of my shelf. And then things on the back of my shelf that I don't use very often. Some dessert ice cream flavour, which is when the grandchildren come round, they have that. Another little bit of oil, which is just the 1 cal spray. And then I've got this one, which is a lemon olive oil. So I have quite a few flavoured oils, but they can literally just go in the cupboard like that. Now I've got, these are olives. They can go through with, I'm going to put them up on this shelf now. So I've got olives, 2 tins of olives there, and I can put these olives there, because then that releases that a little bit. I've got Marmite, which I have on my toast, so that can go in on there. In fact, that can go on the shelf back, because I think I'm going to have more room now. And my honey can go on that shelf, on the shelf back. I've got some mayonnaise, which you know I really like, so that's a new one that can go on the back. The one that's not as new can go one down, so that's on there. That's my new cranberry ketchup, so it's new, so it can go on the back. And then on the front I can have salt and pepper in the grinder, and I can have, this is sea salt, which can just go behind. And then I've got these sesame seeds, which can go into that one. So that's that cupboard now completely. If I bring you round a little bit this way, you can now see how that cupboard is nicely organised, all in date order and ready to go. So now we're going to go on to this cupboard. Let's bring you back a little bit so you can see. About there, I think, probably. You see at the top of there? Almost. Okay, so all of this on here is all past its sell-by. Oh, now I've got baking powder and bicarb, which I cook with. So I'm going to put those behind. So my sea salt can go at the back. My baking powder and my bicarb can go next to each other, so I then don't lose them, and my salt and pepper in front. Okay, so there's more room in there than there was before, so I can close that one up and we can now go on the other. Now these are all things that are, this isn't out of date, I've just bought this, but all of these things here are all past their sell-by date now. So I'm just going to put a pile of them so you can see how it's very easy. And I do my cupboards in the springtime. Now I must admit, sometimes I'll go, oh, I'll use that up, I don't need to get rid of it, but other times I don't. So I'm just going to put these out so you can actually see what is past its sell-by and what is going out, which, you know, I hate wasting things, but as I turned round and said, there are a few things here. So I'm going to do exactly the same with this cupboard, but let me go through. I'm going to take the bottom out so you can actually see what I'm doing. So these are all my flowers. So I have quite a lot of different types of flowers. This is my packet with my rice in, but so I will get the flowers out so you can see. And then I've got these are for oats. That's flour as well. Make sure that I fold the packet down nicely, and I will check the sell-by because flour doesn't last that long. Okay, right, so now I've just found these, which again, when the grandchildren and things come round, this is a pea, soya and balsamic vinegar pea snack, but it was October 24, so that's out of date now. I've got some dried fruit, which should be fine. I've got some, oops, these can go out. I bought these again for the grandchildren. It's rubbish. There's nothing in it that's good, and hopefully it'll have gone out of, no it hasn't yet, but I don't like it, so it's going to go in the bin. So that can go out in there. I've got some crackers, which are fine. So these are all past their sell-by. That's all bread. Let's take that out. That's some Turmalicious, which is turmeric, coconut and cocoa powder. Absolutely delicious, and that's in a packet, and that's got, yes, that's 2027, so that's fine. So that's quite good. I've got that there. I keep a little pot like this, and this is where I keep my rices and things in, but as you can see, it needs to be organised, so we'll organise that bit. Let's move that and put that there. I'm just going to move the stuff away. You know what I did earlier on that you'd find quite funny? As I was clearing out and sorting one bit, the cocoa powder that I was putting away, the whole of the cocoa powder literally just went everywhere. And so I thought, do I clear it up with a cloth? And I thought no, because then I'd have wet cocoa everywhere. So what did I do? I did it with a little dustpan and brush and cleared it all up. So This is my container that I'm going to use for this, and so I can put that down there. And then I've just got some bread in here. I've got a bar of chocolate which I was given that I will use for cooking, and I've got some more flour which I've only bought recently, so that should be fine. And I've got, this was in that Gusto package, it's sushi rice, and it was only bought a couple of weeks ago, so that should be absolutely fine, but I need to remember it's there. And then I've got a little tin here which has got, what have I got in my tin? Oh, that's got nuts and things in, so that can stay as it is. It's got nuts, it's got a thing of Ferrero Rocher which I was given at Christmas, but that's fine because it won't have gone out of date by then. So what we need to do first of all is to clean this cupboard. These are just cake stencils, which is a book and some actual what do you call it, just stencils for going on cakes and things, which are quite nice if I'm doing some cakes for birthdays. So I need to just get my cloth now, so I'm just going to spray the bottom, and we're only going to do the bottom together, and I'll carry on doing the rest. But then take a cloth and literally just wipe out through the top, because particularly when you're putting flour and things like that away, you can quite easily get the odd little tiny bit that comes out of its packet, and then if you don't clean it up nicely, you'll end up with bits everywhere. So that can go straight in the wash. And then I take some paper towel, and then I make sure that the cupboard is completely dry, because particularly if you're putting in flour and things like that, you don't want your flour to get damp. So just give that a good old wipe and clean, and that's cleaned beautifully. So I can put this back straight away, so that goes there. This is my container which has my rice and things in. So let me just put you down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing with this. Okay, so this is the container, and what I'm going to do with this is, these are all new ones, so this is, I need to look at these, take these out. That's a little cup of soup thing. Where's that? 2025, that's fine. So I have little snappy things that I sometimes use. These little instant noodles are quite good sometimes to just add to a soup or something like that with a bit of flavour. Now I know they won't have gone past their sell-by because I only bought them fairly recently. They are best before November 2025, so not that long. So I've got a few of those. I've got some of these which are wok ready noodles, which are quite quick and easy to use. So let's have a look and see what the sell-by on those is. Oh, interesting. That was December, 28th of December 2024. Haven't even used it. That's quite a short sell-by on that then. So let's put those there. I might actually use those immediately. So I better check these dates, haven't I? So let's take these ones out, put them on there for a minute. Give this a bit of, just take the little bits of residue out. Okay, so that's my tub nice and clean. So I can now put some of these back. Now I need to just double check. Now I know that is because I only bought that the other week. So let's have a look and see. That is 2026. So that's a mango chutney rice. This is 2026. So that can go straight in on there. This one is a May 2025, so that needs to go in at the front. This is a Indian lentil dal. That's December 2024. So again, that wasn't bought that long ago, but it needs to be eaten up quickly. So that can go in front like that. I better check some of these, hadn't I? Because most of these I didn't buy that long ago, but sometimes they've got not very long. Can't even see where the sell by on that one is. Oh, here it is. You have to sometimes look. So that's February 2025. So that's just about to go out of date. So that needs to go in on the front. This is another rice. This is 2026. So that's fine. That's a whole grain one. This one was a down the side. November 2025, so that's fine in there. Got those two. Let's have a look at this one. That's the 6th, 2025, so that can go in there as well. Okay, I'm going to turn this one upside down because I can't get that many in. So that's my little pot of rices and things that I put in there. Then I've got, these are November 2025, they're just little crackers, which I can put in at the back there. And then we've got my flowers. Now I know my flowers are all right because I've only just bought them. So, you know, if I look at this one, this is August 2025. So it's literally, I've only bought it really recently. So I've got, let me put this in order. So I've got bread flour, which I can put in there like that. I've got mixed fruit, which I use for soaking for tea loaves and things. That can go in on that one. I should put a little peg on them actually. So then I've got self-raising flour, can go there. Then that's self-raising wholemeal flour because I like to use wholemeal. I've got a little bit of plain flour because sometimes if you're using Yorkshire puddings and things, you want plain flour. And I've got a little bit of mixed grain bread mix, which was quite nice for doing some a little recipe that I was doing the other day. And then I've got this, which is just the end of these oats. I should see where they are. Yes, they were the end of December, so I can use these for cooking because we're only a very short space of time out of date, and I know that I can use those in some cookies and things and cook with them, and then that doesn't matter too much. Okay, so on here I'm going to put my bread. I want to put in here, see if I've got enough room to put this chocolate in, which I should do, I think. So put that one in there, that one in there, because that's what I use for cooking, because I don't eat chocolate as such, so that can go in nicely in there. That's my bread that I can go in on top like that. That's my turmeric, which I will probably, I can actually just put up there for now, can't I? Turn it around that way. There we are. So we now have, let me just come back up here so you can see. So that's the bottom completely done now. This one we've done together. So I'm going to carry on and do that one. But basically that is how you work through your cupboards, cleaning through, doing the sell by. And as I say, I'm pretty religious, but let me show you all of the things. So isn't that terrible? All of that there. If I bring you in a bit closer, you can see. It's not huge, but it's enough. All of those things there, are all past their sell by date, and I had no idea. So it's worth doing these things, just checking to see what's in date and what isn't, and then having a go through the cupboards. So I hope you found that useful. Hope you found a few little tips in there. If you've got some ideas, as always, community, add it to the comments and let me know what your thoughts are and how you go about your spring cleaning your cupboards. But as always, please stay safe and well, please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye.